The movie starts with an introduction that explains the setting in detail. It's the year 2017, and people now live in almost complete isolation from the outside world. They rarely leave their homes because they use remotely controlled synthetic bodies known as surrogates. These surrogates are designed to look better than their human operators and handle all their interactions with the world. Since people are always safe inside their homes, and any damage to a surrogate doesn't affect them directly, society has become peaceful, free from fear, pain, and crime. Next, we meet a young teenage man who is chatting on the phone. After a strange and lively scene in a nightclub, we see him with a girl he just met there. They're about to get intimate when suddenly a mysterious man in a motorcycle helmet shows up. This man violently attacks them by shooting both of them through their surrogates. He then causes a huge car accident as he escapes on his motorcycle. Agent Tom Greer, played by Bruce Willis, is an FBI agent who uses his own surrogate to investigate this shocking crime. This is significant because it's the first murder that has happened in years. It turns out that the murdered teenager was Gerard Cantor, the college student son of Dr. Lionel Cantor, played by James Cromwell. Dr. Cantor is the inventor of the surrogates and uses several of them himself. Agent Greer and his partner Peters, played by Rhoda Mitchell, go to the home of the woman whose surrogate was killed. To their surprise, they discover that the woman was actually a man. They find him dead in his own surrogate control chair. Following the shocking and disturbing events, we learn more about Agent Tom Greer's personal life. He had a son who tragically died in a car accident. This devastating loss put a significant strain on his marriage with his wife, Maggie. Since the accident, Maggie has been struggling with depression. To cope, she spends most of her time in a surrogate pod, living through a surrogate rather than facing the outside world. The case becomes even more complex when several humans are killed after their surrogates are destroyed. A shocking occurrence since surrogates are supposed to protect their human operators from harm. Agent Greer delves deeper into the investigation and discovers that the murders are connected to a group called the Dreads. Led by a mysterious figure known only as the Prophet, the Dreads are a faction of humans who reject the surrogate lifestyle. With the assistance of a system administrator who operates without a surrogate, Greer and his partner Peters uncover that the murderer is a Dread named Miles. Miles has been using a special weapon to kill his victims. This weapon was used to murder Gerard and also claim the lives of 5 police officers who were pursuing him. Greer narrowly escapes death from this weapon by disconnecting himself from his surrogate just before it is fired, then reconnecting afterward. Despite this, his surrogate is damaged in the process. Greer manages to pursue Miles, but the Dreads ultimately destroy his surrogate, leaving Greer severely injured. Maggie finds Greer in his apartment after the attack. Greer is taken to the hospital where he survives his injuries. However, his boss, Stone, suspends him from duty. During the investigation of Greer's actions, he is not permitted to use a surrogate. At the Dread Reservation, Miles is confronted by the Prophet, who demands details about the dangerous weapon Miles used. Soon after, Miles is killed, either directly by the Prophet or by his followers. When Greer enters the reservation to investigate, he stumbles upon Miles's funeral where the Dreads are mourning him. Greer takes this opportunity to approach the Prophet, asking for information about the weapon that was used in the murders. As Greer is leaving the reservation, it becomes clear that the Prophet now has possession of the weapon. Greer then meets with Dr. Lionel Cantor, who is using one of his own surrogates. Dr. Cantor suspects that the weapon might have been created by the military. To confirm this, Greer speaks with a military contact who explains that the weapon is capable of sending a computer virus into surrogates. This virus can shut down the surrogate systems and also disables the built-in safety mechanisms, leading to the death of the human operator. A mysterious surrogate arrives at Greer's partner Peter's home and kills her. Afterward, the killer takes control of Peter's surrogate and uses it to access the FBI's financial records. Through this investigation, the surrogate discovers that Stone, Greer's boss, is actually behind the murder of Gerard. Stone was hired by the company that makes the surrogates to eliminate Dr. Cantor, and he in turn hired Miles to carry out the job. Gerard, who was using one of his father's surrogates, was mistakenly killed because he was mistaken for Dr. Cantor. At the Dread compound, the Prophet orders that the weapon be delivered to Peters, just before the military launches an attack on the compound. The attack results in the deaths of the Prophet and his followers. It is then revealed that the Prophet was actually a surrogate controlled by Dr. Cantor himself. The Peters surrogate, now with critical information about the weapon, tricks Greer into revealing details from Stone's computer. The surrogate then escapes from Greer, taking both the weapon and the sensitive information. She heads to FBI headquarters, where she connects the weapon to the surrogate network. Her goal is to use it to wipe out all surrogate operators by sending a deadly virus through the network. Greer urgently calls the system administrator, who informs him that Peters has been taken hostage. Determined to find out more, Greer heads straight to Dr. Cantor's mansion, breaking into the house in a desperate search for the scientist. Meanwhile, at the FBI building, the Peters surrogate confronts Stone, forcing him to come and speak with her. Dr. Cantor reveals that he is now controlling the Peters surrogate himself. Stone, under duress, admits that he did indeed attempt to have Cantor killed. In a shocking turn of events, Cantor uses the weapon to kill Stone, and then resumes his mission to upload the virus to all the surrogates. His goal is clear: to destroy the surrogate network and force people back to living their real lives. As Greer navigates through Cantor's expansive mansion, he discovers a series of surrogates, including the one responsible for the death of the real Peters. Greer eventually finds Cantor, who disconnects from the Peters surrogate to face him. Cantor reveals his radical plan to end the surrogate system, believing it will restore genuine human experiences and connections. Having initiated the process of destruction through the Peters surrogate, Cantor then takes his own life. In a pivotal moment, Greer takes control of the Peters surrogate. With crucial assistance from the system administrator, Greer manages to protect the surrogate operators, ensuring their survival even if the surrogates themselves are destroyed. Greer faces a critical choice: to either halt the virus transmission or let it continue. As FBI troops storm the mansion, Greer decides not to cancel the transmission. The weapon's virus successfully uploads across the surrogate network, causing a global shutdown. Every surrogate worldwide is destroyed, but their human operators remain unharmed. However, they are now forced to return to their real bodies, ending the era of surrogate-controlled living. This decision marks a dramatic shift back to a world where people must face the realities of their physical existence, leaving behind the virtual safety and comfort of their synthetic surrogates. Greer returns home, where he reconnects with his wife, Maggie, who is now in her real, unfiltered body. The reunion is bittersweet, marked by a mix of apprehension and a longing for genuine connection after the upheaval they've endured. The final scenes of the film focus on the global aftermath of the surrogate shutdown. Media broadcasts report that surrogates are down across the world, leaving people to grapple with the uncertainty of their future. Experts and commentators express doubt and concern about whether the surrogate system can ever be restored, or if society will have to adjust permanently to a world without its synthetic counterparts. As the screen fades out, the question of whether the surrogate technology will be resurrected or remain a relic of the past lingers, emphasizing the profound impact of the recent events on the global stage. Keep the binge going by watching these movie recaps on the right next. Hit the like button, subscribe for uploads every other day, and enjoy yourself. Grab your popcorn and see you soon, my friend.